Murat Arapai had moved to Istanbul in 1993, where he met a 19-year-old woman online with whom he became romantically involved. The woman, Muhterem Perklikli, along with 4 other suspects, lured him to a rented apartment where they tied him to a chair, injected him with lethal chemicals and stole his money from his home. They left his body in the ventilation shaft. The police found his body after a tip-off from a resident and arrested Perklikli and another woman, Serpil Demir, who confessed to the crime. That, my friend, is a honey trap. My name's Kevin Shaw, your friend and a full-time caregiver, talking to you about subjects that concern our collective well-being. And today we'll talk about men's safety online, which includes the exploitation story of my very own brother, so please watch till the end. An Indian origin man in the UK, Vishal Gohal, 44, was found dead in his flat in Bushey, Hertfordshire. In January 2024, he had been in contact with suspects through Craigslist and was led to believe he would be having sex with one of them. But instead, they tied him to a chair, taped his face and inflicted severe blows to his head. The police obviously launched a murder investigation and arrested 6 people, of whom 5 were found guilty of murder or manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. The most compelling use of honey traps is in the geopolitical diplomacy. For example, Rear Admiral Tim Woods of the UK was approached by Russian honey trap women who tried to seduce him and get him into compromising his country with compromising information or blackmail him. He said he faced 4 such attempts in 3 years and that it was under constant surveillance by Russian spies. He also revealed how his family was harassed and how he witnessed the struggle of Ukraine to defend its democracy from Russian aggression. Another example is Beijing using espionage or honey trap spies to overthrow the world order, starting with infiltrating the British government, hacking European companies and recruiting agents abroad. It's really shocking to see how China is pursuing a global agenda of domination and expansion by recruiting beautiful sex scammers. And what happened to retired Venezuelan police officer? He was killed by members of the Tren de Agua gang in Miami. The victim was tricked by 2 women who met him online and rented a hotel room with him, where 3 men then attacked him, robbed him and injected him with a lethal substance. One of the suspects was arrested and confessed to being part of the gang, while the other 4 are still at large. The Tren de Agua is a criminal notorious organisation that operates from prisons in Venezuela. It has expanded into other countries in South America. Maybe this could be a supporting reason for Donald Trump to keep talking about the Mexican Wall. Who knows? Now think of a honey trap woman as a mother, confronted by her own son about why she couldn't come home. Surpreet Dillon, 36, was part of a gang that seduced, drugged and killed Saul Murray, 33, in his flat in Luton in February 2023. Dillon had met Murray online and gave him the sedative GHB after having sex with him. She then called 2 men who attacked Murray and left him fatally injured. Dillon was caught on a police station camera lying to her young son on the phone, saying that she was not suspected of murder, she was helping police with their investigation. How cruel can humans get? I mean, you won't even believe how my brother is currently being conned by a woman he met online. He came across a married woman with multiple children who professes to be in love with my brother. She has 3 months of excuses for not meeting him throughout the festive period. You'll know my brother is funny, generous, kind, but he's also vulnerable, and being emotionally vulnerable, believes that she is a good woman. In fact, I had a positive impression of her the one time I briefly met her, but over time something just doesn't sit well with me. Days he's been out to meet her, she's promised him physical intimacy. However, when he comes back home, it's with more despondence. If she's in an emergency situation, she has no problem asking him for money. My brother, without any grievance, thinking he's in love, comes back empty-pocketed with a new promise to meet her again for intimacy. As my brother's caregiver, I feel helpless, but I can't interfere in his life. He's happy and not being harmed, so I go along with it for now. Anyway, listen to this. Some women are also using extreme honey trap methods to catch cheating men. So if you're not ready to kill your relationship, be very cautious. Now, according to dating expert Jana Hocking, this practice has negative effects on mental health and trust. She advises women to follow their gut and move on if they suspect their partner is cheating. I encourage men to do the same rather than setting up traps. So my observation of the whole thing is stop seeking love online. Some might get lucky, but no, I've not encouraged such a trade-off for an unwarranted amount of risk and mental torture. I'm really curious to know, are we as men really that easy to be trapped for sex? Or are we that desperate and have so little choice? It's time to reclaim our agency as men, and be it online or offline, not let sob stories trigger our emotions so that we give away everything, lose our integrity, self-respect and wealth, and our overall health and maybe even life. Not to mention a life with sexually transmitted diseases through rushed decisions. What do you think? The floodgates of my comments are now open. Let's discuss and rally up against this vicious online threat to all men. Our mental health and our well-being in the hands of honey trappers. Sometimes women and sometimes agencies are using vulnerable women. Thanks for joining me, and please stay safe.